Hi everyone, I'm just working on something new today, so give me a minute. This is a test run for a new way I'm going to stream live with Mrs. Q tomorrow night. So just give me a moment here to get everything set up. And I just want to open this. I didn't want to do that, so give me a moment again. As I am learning how to figure this out. I want to open. Let me just pull this over here for a moment. So I hope that you guys are seeing me on Facebook and YouTube. It says people are online. If you're watching, send me a little note that you're watching so I will see that you're here. Just want to know that people are here and that you're watching me. And this is a little preview and introduction to how I do. Oh, wait a minute. It looks like I stopped. I'm not sure if I'm streaming live or not. Let me look here. Please bear with me as this is a totally new software system that I am using today. Let me just look to see if you're seeing me or not. And it looks like you are. Okay, great. So people are seeing me. Excellent. So I'm just trying to make sure this is all running. Oh, now I see some chats. Thank you. Thank you. And I wonder if anyone is watching on YouTube, because that is what I'm particularly interested in looking at. So let me go check out my YouTube channel and make sure I'm streaming there as well. Because starting tomorrow night, I'm going to stream Mrs. Q live, both on Facebook and YouTube. So this is an introduction to how I get together for Mrs. Q Live. So for you guys who've been watching me on Mrs. Q Live for the past year, thank you so much for watching. For you who are new, my YouTube subscribers, hi. So in case you don't know, every Friday night at 7 p.m., I broadcast from Colonial New York City, 18th century New York City, as my historical character, Mrs. Q. And this is going to be a short video today to just let you know about what I do to prepare for my role as Mrs. Q every week, because there really is a lot of work that goes into it. And I just thought you might be curious into how I do it. So the first thing I do is I have to pick a topic. And tomorrow night's topic is going to be the Sons of Liberty. And once I pick a topic, one of the first things I do is I make an icon or a thumbnail of the show. And I'm just going to share my screen here and show you the thumbnail for tomorrow. So there's the thumbnail for tomorrow night's show. Mrs. Q Live. It has the date and the time, and that it's the history of the Sons of Liberty. So I go into Photoshop and I make one of these, and then I post it all over social media. So you'll know I'm planning to broadcast as Mrs. Q and what the subject matter is. The next thing I have to do is I have to research my topic and make sure I know what I'm going to be talking about. So I go to my library and I grab one of these binders, and this is one of many binders I have of zillions of Revolutionary War period documents, and I go through and I find the subject I'm interested in talking about, and I start to pull the documents I'm going to use to illustrate my story. I might also use some other resources if I don't have enough. Let me close this. I'm getting too much glare from that window. If I don't have enough stuff of my own, there's a library I want to show you that I use, and that library is called InfoWeb. And that is a great library. It's a subscription-only library, so you have to belong to a research library in order to use this. And I access it through the New York Public Library. And as you can see here, there are all of these great topics. And I mostly use about halfway down America's historical imprints and America's historical newspapers. And these are documents from the 1600s through the mid to late 1800s. So I might head on over to Newsbank if I don't have the documents myself I'm looking for. Another resource I use for prints is the New York Public Library's online digital database. So I might go in there to find some of the prints. I also have to find a background. And in the case of today, you're seeing Mrs. Q's upstairs parlor, which really is the bank card room from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And then I go ahead and I make backgrounds that include the illustrations I'm going to show you. So here's one of those, and you might be seeing this illustration tomorrow night. An illustration about the Sons of Liberty. So then I go through and I make all my backgrounds with my illustrations and documents built in so that as I go through our talk, I can change the background accordingly. And let me find another background here. And I think this is another view of Mrs. Q's parlor. So once I have all of the information together, so I've picked my topic, I've announced it, I've done my artwork, I have all of that together. Now I have to work on Mrs. Q. So what am I going to wear? So one of the things I do, hold on, let me close this here. So one of the things I do is I go over to my wardrobe and I figure out what I'm going to wear, because if you've been watching me, you might know that Mrs. Q has a lot of different outfits. And tomorrow night, I will be wearing this one. And this is the silk taffeta gown I made for Washington's inauguration last week. So I'll be wearing this outfit tomorrow night. And the next thing I have to do is I can't have my hair looking like this. I need a wig. So this is tomorrow night's wig. And as you can see, this wig needs a lot of work before I put it on tomorrow night. And it needs some styling. Let me get it here where you can see it a little better. It needs some styling, and it also needs some serious powdering, right? It's looking pretty bad. And so this wig, I have a few wigs, but this wig is the curly wig, or the hedgehog hairdo, as I call it. So this will be a nice big hairdo. And then I picked the bonnet. I may or may not wear this bonnet tomorrow night. I haven't decided yet. It's likely I will, but we'll see. So you can see up here, I have another bonnet. I have a bunch of bonnets. So I picked the outfit, I picked the hair, and then about 45 minutes before the broadcast, say around 6:15 or so, I start getting dressed. So I have to put on all my 18th century undergarments. I put up my hair. I put on makeup that makes me look like I'm in the 18th century. I put on my wig. I put up my green screen. Yes, there's a green screen behind me. Do you want to see it? Let's see. Let me see if I can figure out how to show you my green screen here. So there you go. I am in front of a green screen. I put up my green screen and I get ready to go. And then we get to spend about half hour to 45 minutes together discussing a topic about the Revolutionary War or New York City history. So tomorrow night, as I mentioned, the topic will be the history of the Sons of Liberty. Now remember, Mrs. Q is a New Yorker, born and raised New Yorker, and she might have a little bit to say tomorrow night about whether or not the Sons of Liberty started in Boston, as people in our time believe, or if they really started in New York City and were copied by those Bostonians who, you know, in Mrs. Q's opinion, didn't have a unique thought in all of their lives. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow night. That's 7 p.m. Eastern time. And it looks like the stream is working. So I'll see you on Facebook and YouTube. Some of you I know like to join me on Zoom. The Zoom link is still available if you want to join on Zoom. And hopefully everything will be running. And I'll have Mrs. Q will have a whole lot of new fans on YouTube. And remember, you can ask Mrs. Q questions. So if you have questions you want to put in the chat, please put them in the chat and Mrs. Q will address your questions. Someone would like to see a segment on Peter Stuyvesant. I think Mrs. Q can talk about Peter Stuyvesant and the Dutch era if you'd like to hear that. And of course, if you have an idea of what you would like Mrs. Q to talk about one of these weeks, put it in the comments or send me an email. Contact me on social media and I'll consider your topic. There isn't anything too crazy for Mrs. Q to talk about. And since tomorrow is the Sons of Liberty, I'll warn the ladies in advance that some of the topics may be a little bit risque and some of the language might be a little shocking. So just some warning in advance about tomorrow night. So thanks all of you for joining me for this little preview of how I prepare for Mrs. Q Live. If you've been enjoying Mrs. Q Live, please consider supporting me. I think I have a little support. Let me look. I think I have a little support thing here. I do, right there. You can send me a one-time donation on PayPal or Venmo. PayPal me at Patriot Tours, or I'm on Venmo at Patriot Tours NYC, or you can become a patron on Patreon, a monthly patron, and support my ongoing work. And if you become a patron, you also get some extra inside information having to do with my research. And if you subscribe on the higher tier, twice a week we have chats where I teach a little bit more in depth about these topics. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see everybody tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, where I'll be back in this chair. I'm not sure if I'll be in this room, might be in a different room, but I'll be wearing that gown and this wig. And I will look totally different. And for those of you who don't know already, I really like how I look in the 18th century, much better than I look here. So until tomorrow, I hope you all stay happy and healthy. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow night as Mrs. Q.